Hello everyone, this is Richard Ellsworth from Mountain Sage Healing Arts. Welcome to my channel. This is my third video overall, my second video on health, and today I want to recap a little bit about what we talked about last time, which was about indoor air quality and the things we can do to maintain better air quality. And then I want to talk about some other things that we can do to our indoor environment to allow us to sleep better, to have optimal sleep, which is one of the most important things we can possibly do for our bodies, for our immune system, for healing, for resetting ourselves and becoming the healthiest versions of ourselves as we possibly can. Last week we talked about VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. These are things that off-gas from non-organic materials, things like furniture, carpets, even clothing that have flame retardants on them. These things will off-gas for a period of approximately, on average, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, of 4 years. So we want to be buying things like that, furniture, carpets, either with natural untreated materials, or we want to make sure that we're buying them 4 years or older so that they are no longer off-gassing. This also applies to automobiles, the upholstery in automobiles. So I also mentioned that there are certain plants that can filter out VOCs from the air. NASA did a study quite a while back about different plants and the effects that they have on filtering certain VOCs from the air. This was when they were sort of looking into, how could we possibly live on the moon? And, one of the things that they needed to figure out was cleaning the air. So plants were included in that study. So some of the plants that we can use, as I mentioned before, are mother-in-law's tongue, which I have right here next to me. You can also use English ivy. You can use certain ferns like Boston fern, Elizabeth fern, Melissa fern, peace lilies, Mauna Loa, Gerber daisies, spider plants, so on and so forth. The idea, as a general rule of thumb, is to have approximately one of these plants for every 100 square feet that are in your house. I also mentioned that airborne pathogens, 94% of them can be killed by burning sage or cedar for approximately an hour, and the effects will last up to 3 weeks, according to the Journal of Ethnobotanical Medicine. So next, I want to discuss briefly about what we can do in our indoor environment to better promote sleep. So the same plants that I mentioned will also be producing more oxygen into the environment, which will also enhance sleep. Gerber daisies are one of the specific ones that will help considerably with that. It would not hurt to have one of those on your bedside table. And the other thing that we really need to focus on is light. So we have a lot of lights in our home. Currently, you can see that I have a couple of lights behind me. The important thing with light is to make sure that past a certain time, past sunset generally, we want to make sure that we're eliminating as much blue light as possible and getting more red light. So why is this important? Well, red light will stimulate melatonin. Melatonin will help us to sleep better. It will stabilize our circadian rhythms to get us ready for sleep. Blue light, on the other hand, does the opposite. The highest amount of blue light is present at dawn when we wake up in the morning, and that will stimulate our bodies and give us energy. In our indoor environment, a good thing to do would be to change out bulbs in the bedroom and the bathroom with red lights that can be used at night. Hopefully you can rely on natural light throughout the day, and at night when you turn on the lights, they will be red and will be eliminating blue light to sort of get your eyes adjusted for sleep. The alternative to that might be wearing blue blocking glasses, which are also good for looking at computer screens or your phone, unless you have some computers and phones. You can download an app, or sometimes they have it built in. I use one on my phone called Twilight, and what it does is it filters out the amount of blue light and provides a reddish orange background to eliminate as much blue light as possible to help you get your circadian rhythm back on track. Another thing you can do is use incandescent bulbs. So incandescent bulbs do consume more energy most of the time, but they're considerably better for our eyes and will help, again, to establish our circadian rhythm. So we want to sort of mimic the light that you might get from a flame. So this is not obviously when you're sleeping, but leading up to then. So incandescent bulbs like Edison bulbs are the best. but other incandescent bulbs, the bulbs of the past, are great options. So what else can we do to promote good sleep? Not exercising past 5 p.m. is a great thing you can do. You can also focus on eating your larger meals closer to noon, as opposed to having your largest meal be dinner. Then you want to wait a couple hours before you go to sleep. You also want to avoid watching television or movies before bed and try something different, like reading a book or talking to your family, etc. And this is going to sound probably a little bit out there, but one of the best things we can do for our sleep is to sleep in a cold environment. Now, we don't want it to be too cold and we don't want it to be too hot. So, you might want to take that wool blanket off your bed, and you certainly don't want to be shivering at night. However, you want your body to be experiencing a certain amount of cold. So throughout the seasons, regardless of how cold it is outside, sleeping with your window open, and then with however many covers you need, but not so much that you're sweltering, has a significant effect on your cells, your cellular energy, and also their reproduction. The process that's occurring as our body is experiencing this colder temperature at night is called hormesis. Now, hormesis is hormetic stress, so it's stress on essentially your hormones, and it's a type of stress that causes your cells to reproduce stronger. And finally, if it comes to it, there are also certain supplements or nutrients that we can be consuming dietarily that will also help to support our circadian rhythm and thus our sleep function. So we can be taking things like passion flower, we can take St. John's wort, we can take magnesium, we can take lemon balm, we can take lemon verbena, we can take glycine, we can take valerian root, and there are several others as well. Now, as far as nutrients go, what we want to do is increase our intake of selenium, which can be gotten through eating 5 Brazil nuts a day. It's also in other sources, but that's the fastest way and the easiest. We also want to increase our vitamin A intake, and finally our methyl groups. So there's a great supplement called SAMe, it's SAM-E, which stands for S-adenosyl L-methionine, and it has been linked to circadian dysrhythmia. So supplementing with that will significantly help your sleep functioning as well. As a final note, we can also be focusing on resetting our circadian rhythm as soon as we wake up in the morning. This will help to get it started and get it on track so that you fall asleep at the proper time at night. So how can we do that? Well, the best thing to do is as soon as you get up to get natural sunlight. That can mean going outside your door. Obviously, don't stare directly into the sun, but doing activities outside, even just for a half an hour, would be excellent. And you can also exercise, do a quick set of push-ups or sprints. So what this is basically doing is it's increasing CAMP, which is cyclic adenosine monophosphate. This may sound like quite a mouthful, but ultimately all you need to know is that it resets the circadian rhythm. There's a supplement called forskolin that some people take for weight loss. If you are taking that, or if you want to take it, you can take that right when you wake up in the morning. And that will help to reset your circadian rhythm as well, especially if it's geared toward losing weight, as a disrupted circadian rhythm can certainly lead to weight gain. Most supplements, unless they are the ones that I mentioned that you could be taking to help with sleep, like valerian root, passion flower, etc., they should be taken for breakfast or lunch, but not before you go to sleep. If you take them before you go to sleep, your body will start working and processing them, and that can also disrupt your circadian flow. So that will be it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace, light, love, and healing to you all. Thank you for watching. Please remember to hit the like button, the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to my channel by hitting the bell icon, and I will see you next time. Thank you.